miles from the worst terrorist attack since 9/11 on U.S. soil. The Obama administration has just announced it is ramping up its efforts to bring in refugees from one of the worst terror hotspots on the planet, Syria. They are accelerating the pace at which we're accepting these folks. The president's deputy national security advisor telling the group Human Rights First, quote, "We are speeding up the admissions process without skipping any steps. So far, we've admitted about 3,500 Syrian refugees, more in the last 5 weeks than in the past 7 months. While it's important to note no Syrian refugees in the United States have been arrested on terror-related charges," many people don't understand that, but none have been arrested on terror charges, members of the president's own cabinet warn that terrorists could indeed infiltrate the refugee ranks.
I don't obviously put it past the likes of ISIL to infiltrate operatives among these refugees. So that is a huge concern of ours.
Huge concern of the administration's. Mark Thiessen is a Fox News contributor and a fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, and Robert Zimmerman is a DNC committee member from New York and co-founder of Zimmerman Edelson Public Relations. Good to see you both.
Good evening.
Good to see you, Megan.
So it doesn't sound like they're increasing the number of Syrian refugees, which they've already said will be 10,000, but they're speeding it up, Mark, because they say they want it done by September 30th. It wasn't going as quickly as they would have liked. They assure us they're not skipping any steps, despite their huge concern that these ranks might be infiltrated by terrorists. Your thoughts?
Yeah. They're speeding it up, and Hillary Clinton does want to ramp it up. Hillary Clinton has proposed increasing the number of Syrian refugees coming into the United States by 500% to 65,000 people. And she says that Republicans who oppose this betray our values and want to slam the door on innocent men, women, and children. But, you know, it's kind of rich, because when her husband was president of the United States in the 1990s and tens of thousands of Haitian refugees tried to seek asylum in the United States after the Aristide regime fell, Bill Clinton slammed the door on those refugees, the cell door at Guantanamo Bay. He intercepted them at sea, sent them to Guantanamo, and then sent them back because some of them had the HIV virus, AIDS. So Hillary Clinton thinks that we're betraying values because of legitimate concerns of terror.
Let me just jump in. Robert, why can't we help the Syrian refugees? This is what Mark's people say, by creating a safe zone someplace outside of the United States. It would take money, but Americans might be more comfortable with that solution.
Look, Megan, we're all profoundly concerned about the safety of our country and our concern about refugees. But the reality here, Megan, is that when you talk about the administration ramping up its steps, let's be clear, what they're doing is increasing on every level of our government, more staff, more oversight, more security clearances. Let's put this in perspective. Since 9/11 hit our country, we've taken in 784,000 refugees. Only 3 have been returned since 9/11. The point here that counts is the approach that Mark is talking about in the Republican right wing really, in fact, makes America less safe. In fact, the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee for the Republicans in the House, Mike McCall, said that, in fact, Donald Trump's strategy towards Muslims and towards banning Muslims from coming in would, in fact, be a recruiting tool for ISIS. So while we have to be absolutely on our guard, and we have to be very cautious. Well, that's the argument, Mark, is that they say, and when we support, taking in these refugees, we undermine the terrorist arguments about the United States. And if we don't support them, they become desperate. They turn to unscrupulous people. And you got little kids. There's this little 9-year-old boy, Ahmed, who wrote to President Obama saying, "I was sitting in the refugee camp. It got bombed. I lost both of my arms, and I want to get arms so I can write a letter of thanks to the United States." I mean, when we reject the would-be terrorists, we reject little Ahmeds. More than half of the refugees are children.
Robert, hold on. Here's the problem. Of course, all of us want to help these refugees. Anyone who saw the picture of that little lifeless body of that toddler who was drowned trying to escape from ISIS and wants to help them. The problem is that the Islamic State is taking advantage of their suffering to try and infiltrate terrorists into the United States.
No, Mark,
and
the
so
problem
we have
Donald Trump playing into their hands. That's the problem, Mark. Donald Trump's playing into their agenda.
Let Mark finish, and then I'll get to you, Robert.
Okay.
Yeah. The problem is the Islamic State is trying to infiltrate them, and the Clinton and the Obama administration has admitted that they can't effectively screen them. They lost track of 10,000 65,000 people who had terrorist ties, who they mistakenly gave visas into the United States.
Mark,
they don't even know where they
Mark,
are.
that's
How are we going to screen these refugees?
First of all, Mark, that's a false statement. The FBI director
It is not
said,
a false statement.
Excuse me, the FBI director said they can vet them, but the more important point here, is to remember.
That's not true. But let's not get off the facts.
True.
Comey actually expressed his concern about vetting them. I have it here.
But Megan, he did say that the government can in fact vet the refugees, and they're getting better at it. That was fact-checked by the Pulitzer Prize organization PolitiFact.
Comey said we can only query against that which we have collected. And so if someone has not made a ripple in the pond in Syria in a way that would get our interest in the databases, we can query our databases till the cows come home, but nothing will show
Megan,
up
if we don't
because
have
we
a
have no
full
record
file,
of that person, Robert.
Megan, if
That's
we don't
what
have a full
Comey
file,
said.
they're not let in. That's the
Robert.
point. But here's the bigger point, that as long as we play into this fear and play into the fear-mongering, following Donald Trump's strategy, we endanger our safety. We become a recruiting tool for
you
ISIS.
made that point. Now we're
and the
repeating
country
ourselves.
is, in fact,
Great to see you
rejecting
both.
them.
I gotta go. I gotta leave
Without
it
letting
there.
them into the United States.
One of the